Butler, where were my spectacles? I can't read my notes. Okay. Left-handed pistol manipulations. Ooh, this topic came up for a couple of reasons. One, I had injured my thumb the other day, got a little boo-boo. Two, I got really bored, so I was taking a class last weekend, and what I normally do when I take a class is I take the class left-handed. So I'm a right-handed person, but people don't need to know that, not especially in the beginning. So I get a chance to do a lot of creative practice using my left hand, and it helps me get variety in my day, right? So the other reason was while taking said class, I asked the instructor a couple times, like, well, how do you do this? Can you show me how you do this? And so he goes and he demonstrates. I'm like, well, wait, I'm left-handed. He says, oh. There are a lot of instructors out there who don't have left-handed technique. They just don't know how to teach a left-handed student. Come on, man. This is a part of your profession. You have to know these things. Left-handed shooters, right-handed shooters, men, women, cross-dominant, revolver, semi-automatic, speed loader, speed strip, spring-loaded speed loader. These are all things that you got to know how to use, all right? Anyways, so for viewers out there, students of mine, whoever, if you're just browsing through, checking out my website, here's some left-handed techniques for that 10% of the population who is left-hand dominant, and for a good portion of the population who is right-handed but chooses to have a left-handed, left-handed technique. All right, let's look at Browning high power, the mainstay of the world's fighting handguns. All right, when you look at left-handed manipulations, really, the nice thing about this is a Mark III and it has an ambidextrous safety. But let's say you have a 1911 or Browning P35 or some gun, an old Smith & Wesson, that doesn't have a safety built on the right-hand side of the gun for a left-handed user. You don't have much choice. You can take a hand off and deactivate the safety that way, but what you've done is you've just deactivated the safety and you're barely even holding this thing. I mean, it's in 3 fingers. Fingers drop things, hands hold things. Come on now, guys. So you want to put it in your hand, leave it in your hand. If you have the luxury of 2 hands, go take a hand, your right hand, turn the gun over and wipe the safety down or up. That can allow you to manipulate this gun in a pinch if you need to use a gun that doesn't have an ambidextrous safety. All right, so that goes for 1911s, Browning P35 and similar models. SIG 238, Grave, what's it called? Missing the word. Anyways, P38 only comes in a right-handed model, and I don't know why, but whatever. Do yourself a favor. If you buy one, put on an ambidextrous safety. You need one. But anyways, all right. So that's on the safety. Manipulating the slide. If I'm right-handed, I will manipulate the slide this way. Why? Well, not that it doesn't work. I could do it this way, no problem. But I choose to manipulate it this way. One concept is really important called commonality of training, right? Commonality of training. If I need to rack my slide, it's probably because I got something wrong with the gun, such as it doesn't have any ammo. Well, it falls in the category of malfunction. I pulled the trigger, nothing happened because it's out of ammo. Well, let me load some ammo into it. All right. Now, what if I have a jam? I got a malfunction. I pull the trigger. Nothing happens. What do I got to do? Tap, rack. But I can tap rack this way. Why don't I tap rack that way? Because then I get gravity to help me. Right? The same motion. I can chamber it this way. I can chamber it this way. Why don't I just push the gun over, roll it onto its side, and rack the slide now with gravity as my assistant. All right? So you have chambering the gun, overhand as a right-handed shooter, rolling the gun on its side to have gravity help you because the ejection port's built on the right side of the gun. All right? Tap, roll, rack. What you see me do right there. Okay, so what if I have a gun such as this Walter PPK-S, and I want to manipulate left-handed, but it only has a switch on one side, nothing right here, right? Right-handed user, nice and convenient, voila, decocked. Okay, as a left-handed user, if I'm shooting this gun, the first thing I do when I'm done shooting is to turn the gun over and decock it this manner. Exactly as I mentioned with the 1911 or Browning P35. Now I take my thumb and I wipe the safety back up. Right, so I decock it and then undo the safety. And now the gun is back to being a double action trigger and is ready for use. Now at this point I can reload it if I need to. Right, change my magazine out. Notice I'm using my trigger finger. Very easy to find. I don't need to take my right hand to go and find this. I can't see that. I don't need to find that with my right hand. My right hand's got better things to do, such as withdrawing fresh ammunition. All right, so my right hand's job is to be finding ammunition. My left hand's job is to be taking that magazine out. All right, locking the slide to the rear. Okay, right-handed smartasses, show me how you lock this slide to the rear. There's no way to do that. It just doesn't work, okay? So there's not a button on every gun to lock the slide to the rear. This one only locks if you put an empty magazine in. And as a left-handed user, especially for those who have small hands or don't have a whole lot of strength in their fingers, maybe you have arthritis, the easiest way you can lock the slide to the rear is by inserting an empty magazine. The problem, obviously, is that inserting empty magazine is the action of loading the gun, not the action of unloading the gun, and that generates issues when you're in your head. Okay, you're going to play the sequence for unloading the gun, or you're going to play the sequence for loading the gun. You don't want to mix the two up. So, anyways, on a PPK, easy. Empty magazine, ambidextrous, right? Back to 1911 Browning P35. The way you lock the slide to the rear, the way I recommend it is to take the meat on the side of your left side trigger finger and push up on your slide catch. Notice Sig Sauer has a slide catch built back here and it ain't gonna work. That technique doesn't work on a Sig Sauer. Not very well, at least. But push up, take your hand, and there it is. All you do is push up and draw the slide back using the slingshot technique until it pops into place. There you have it. Notice with my right hand, I'm using the overhand technique to manipulate the slide. Using the left hand, why do I now use the slingshot technique? Well, I use the slingshot technique simply for the same reason. I want that ejection port facing down. So for the same technique, could I use the overhand? Sure, why not? But the point of education, the point of instruction is not to say, well, this technique works and that technique works. That's not the problem. You can find that on YouTube. Anybody could teach you that. But when you hire an instructor, and if you are a good instructor, if you teach classes, your job is to not show your students 10 techniques. Your job is to look at your student, understand the student's needs, and figure out what is the best technique for your situation. Hey, if you're left-handed, that's a great technique because commonality of training, it gets the ejection port down towards the ground. All right, let's talk about the venerable Glock. Okay. What you see here is a Glock 17 wearing a simunition conversion kit, okay? So, you'll notice, right-handed overhand slide manipulation. Left-handed manipulation, slingshot, okay? Slingshot manipulation for the left hand. Why? Get the ejection port south. Now, if I need to lock the slide to the rear, the right hand, notice I can't reach that anyways. Shift my hand over, push up, retract the slide. If I'm left-handed, it's actually even easier because I don't need to reposition my hand. All I gotta do is push up, retract the slide. That takes a little bit of dexterity, and if you are a first-time gun buyer and you're left-handed and you have a Glock, you could consider getting an extended slide catch. Honestly, the best thing to do is just know the technique, understand the technique, practice it, and you're good. But if it helps you, get an extended slide catch, not a problem. All right, there it goes. One more time. Obviously, there's no safety on this gun to worry about. The only safety external is right there, and it's perfectly ambidextrous. Okay, so let's get into clearing malfunction. and you'll see why this technique is really good. All right, so I've got a couple of rounds here. I don't know if you can see. We're gonna use some fired FX marking cartridge cases. It's got the little plunger right here. So this is a spent round. It does nothing, but it causes a very nice jam. You'll see why. This is a simunition blank. It is live. And then these are spent simunition blanks, which work really well as dummy rounds. Okay, so if you have, whoopsies, a round in the chamber, you want it to go off. Nothing. Watch me. Tap, roll the gun over on its side, rack the slide. Now there you go. All right. If you are looking at a complex malfunction, which is a malfunction that didn't seem to fix, all right, here's what you got. We have spare magazine with one round. We have one round followed by a malfunction. Notice, take a look in that chamber. Nothing. If I assume that it's dark, I don't know what's going on. Tap, roll, rack is my first response, just because it clears the majority of simple malfunctions. Okay, I feel that right away. By feel, I know that that's not working. The next thing I need to do is to strip this magazine out, and either right-handed or left-handed, it's the same procedure. I strip it out. Now if I show you left-handed, watch, I press that magazine release hard, grab the magazine, I can dig my thumb in a Glock. Older Glocks will have a cutout in the front, but younger Glocks, newer Glocks will have a cutout in the back right here. Dig my thumb back here, tear the magazine out. Now comes the important part. Because of commonality of training, turn the gun south, clean it out, fresh ammunition, have one more chance to clear out anything that's in there. Good to go, all right? So, we have manipulations with the left hand. With the 1911 type, Browning P35, 1911 type gun, we have a decocker such as the Smith & Wesson or Walter. We have a striker fired gun such as the Glock. You have manipulations of racking the slide, locking the slide to the rear, operating the magazine release right here with the trigger finger. You have manipulating the decocker in review right there, down with my right hand thumb and back up again. All right, and you have an example of clearing malfunctions. Easy malfunctions, tap, roll, rack the slide. A complex malfunction, tap, roll, rack the slide, nothing happens. Magazine release, strip the magazine out, ditch it, rack, rack, rack to clear everything out, fresh ammunition in, rack the slide again, and you're back up. Sounds simple, takes practice. See if you can get these drills down, should take you only a minute. You should be able to clear this malfunction in about that long, about 1 second. And this one, you should be able to do the whole diagnosis in about 4 seconds, okay? Good luck training. Practice with dummy rounds. Be safe. Make sure you unload your gun properly. Point it at a safe backstop. All right, I'll talk to you guys soon. Bye.